Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Thunder, and today we're going to be working on adding a day and night cycle to our game. Now basically the way it's going to work, we're going to be rotating our sun around through the code. It's going to set it to night at a certain time, and then that's when everything's going to get dark, or map's going to get dark, the sky is going to get dark, and we won't be able to see shit. So yeah, that's pretty much how it's going to work. Now, quick disclaimer, something I wanted to address actually. The next couple of tutorials are going to be the last ones of the single player part. What do I mean by this? So, as I said, I am going to be showing you how to add multiplayer to the game. But first, I wanted to finish the single player part so that we can later on just modify the things and make it multiplayer. Now, this is not the best idea. The the most adequate thing would be to start off with multiplayer in mind. But again, I get that not everyone wants to make their game multiplayer, but that's why I did it this way. And the networking solution we're going to be using is a pretty simple networking solution. It's pretty straightforward. It's going to be peer to peer though. Basically, it's like a party game. So once everyone leaves, it's going to close. What you could do at that instance is basically we could have it that once the one that created it leaves, it shuts everyone down, saves the map, and then that person can start it again. That's how it could work. But again, we'll see how we make everything in the future. Now, the next three videos are gonna be the last ones. Might be two, I'm not sure yet. Why? One of the things we have left to do is the pause menu. So basically, the pause menu, the way we are gonna need the pause and main menu. So from our main menu, we can change our settings, our graphics, things like that. We can also load our game. Yes, I did say load because the other video, which is gonna be the next video, I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make an actual save system. Now we're not really gonna be making it, but I'm gonna be giving you guys my own personal save system. It's a sort of generic save system that's going to save all the game objects on your game. It can save the game object's position, rotation, and size. Now, that's all it can do. Also, it can save objects that were created at runtime. What do I mean by this? Like when we drop a bag, that's an item that was created while the game was playing, so at runtime. It can save things like that. Alright? It will also be saving storage boxes, all of that. And I will be adding in the tutorial support so it saves our storage boxes. So do not worry about that. And that's gonna be it after that. So save system, pause menu, and main menu. That's all the things we got left to do, and then we are gonna be done with the tutorials. After that, it's just applying everything to single player and modifying it from single player to multiplayer. So we can actually connect, we'll make a server list, things like that. Now, that's all I have to say, so let's go ahead and get started with the video. Alright, so first thing we're gonna do is go to your scripts folder, then your world folder, and you're gonna create a script called day-night cycle. Now, this day-night cycle, open it up on Visual Studio, and just delete the starting update function. The reason I already have it deleted is because I tried recording this part once, and it's pretty much, I had to delete the footage, so we're back to starting point. Now, first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and create a couple of variables. So first one's gonna be a public transform, and it's gonna be called sun. So this is gonna be what we're going to be rotating. Next one, we're gonna do a header to keep everything organized. I'm gonna call this cycle settings. Now, over here we're gonna need a public float, which is gonna be called, float, and we're gonna call it time of day. And we're gonna default it to 1350. I'll be explaining all of it as soon as we're done. Okay, that was weird. Alright, let's just keep going. We're gonna be doing another public float, and that's gonna be called cycle duration. So how long our cycle is gonna last? I'm gonna do 2700 by default. Now these are values made for a 30-minute cycle, I believe. You can just change the speed if you want it like to be 50 minutes. You can just change the speed, which we're going to create in a moment. So don't worry about that. Now we're gonna do public float day start time. So when does down happen? Not it's down. How you say it? Yeah, I think it's done. And this I usually do 750. Now for the next one is gonna be when does the sun actually go all the way down? So we're gonna do float day and time. So basically sunset. And I usually do 2150. So that will be it. Then we're gonna do space and we're gonna do public float cycle speed. So how fast is this gonna run? So we're gonna default it to 1, so normal speed. Now obviously if this is built for a 30-minute cycle, if you want to make it shorter, so you want to make it half the time, so 15 minutes, all you have to do is change it from 1 to 2. It's pretty simple. That's actually one of the reasons I added it in, so I don't have to be modifying values and testing it around. So that should help a lot. Now let's make another header and we're gonna call it lighting settings. And on this one we're gonna do public float daytime sun intensity. So what's the sun intensity during daytime? I'm gonna default it to 1, which is what I have my sun set to right now. And then another public float nighttime sun intensity, which this should be at 0. Alright, there's pretty much no reason for you to have your sun enabled because that's gonna make it look really weird, like there's still light coming out of somewhere, so you shouldn't have that there. Now next one, I'm gonna make a space and this is gonna be the ambient lighting. So basically this is gonna control the lighting that is emitted by our skybox. So our sky is gonna be emitting light besides our sun, and we have to change that lighting according so it doesn't look, the ground does look dark but then the sky looks pretty dark. So we're going to be doing that public float, and it's going to be daytime ambient intensity, which is going to be equals to 1 by default, and public float nighttime ambient intensity, and this is going to be 0.2 by default, actually 0.15. Now next thing we're gonna make, I'm gonna make 2 spaces. Again, the spaces are not required, although recommended because it's gonna help everything stay organized. Same things with the header. Now next one is public float intensity change speed, and this is gonna be equals to 1 by default. Yes, 1. And then we're gonna do hiding inspector, square brackets hiding inspector, and we're gonna do public bool is nighttime. Now the reason we're hiding it is because we don't really need it, so that's pretty much how it's gonna work. Let's save it, and there's one more thing we are going to be doing. So next part is the actual code of it, which it's pretty simple. As I said, this video is going to be a pretty short one. Alright, I'm just going to pause the video until this compiles. Okay, it's compiled. Now, I'm going to make my sun be as in nighttime, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Now, you can see it's pointing like this. Let me just activate the gizmos. It's pointed like this. Now, this is how it would look during nighttime. So you can see the map is dark, but our sky is still lighting everything, and it still looks like it's daytime, just how the ground would look if it was cloudy. Now, that's what we're going to be fixing. Also, whatever intensity value you have here, make sure to apply it on your script once we create the actual game object and put the script in it. In my case, it's 0.69, so that's what I'm going to be using instead of 1. Now, going back to this. The next thing we have to do is our start function. So let's get started with that. And we're going to do if it's not nighttime. So if exclamation sign is nighttime, we're going to be doing sun dot get component in child and children light, I believe it is, dot intensity, and we are going to be setting it to daytime sun intensity. There we go. Now I'm just gonna copy this line of code because it's gonna be pretty much identical, and then we're gonna do else, and instead of daytime sun intensity, we're gonna do nighttime sun intensity. So nighttime sun intensity. There we go. Alright, so that's it for the start part. Let's go to the update function. Now, on the update function, we are going to be needing a couple more. So let me just, okay, we're gonna do, alright, give me just 1 second, guys. Alright, sorry about that, I had to pause the video. Now, what we're gonna be doing here is if it's not is nighttime, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna set our values, like as I said, the skybox, the whole ambient intensity, sun intensity, all of that to the daytime values. Also, we are going to need one more thing. So go up here right before intensity change speed, and we're gonna do a public material, and we're gonna call it skybox. Then we're gonna do public color, daytime color, and the other one we're gonna do public color, nighttime color. There we go. Now back to this. So we're gonna do 2 brackets, and we're gonna do sun dot get component in children light dot intensity equals mathf dot lerp. Basically what this does is it smoothly transitions between the 2 values, and we're gonna do again sun dot get component in children light dot intensity, comma, and then we're gonna add our other value, which is gonna be intensity change speed times time dot delta time, and then that should be, actually no, I messed it up right there. We need one more comma, so it's gonna be comma the sun dot get component in children light dot intensity, comma, then we're gonna be doing daytime sun intensity, then comma intensity change speed times time dot delta time. Now that's gonna be it for this line of code. Next one. So for the next one, we're gonna be changing our ambient intensity. So we're gonna do render settings. Also, if you guys are hearing some noise on the background, I apologize about that. It's just the washer that's on in my house, so that's making a lot of noises. I apologize about it. Alright, so render settings dot ambient intensity equals mathf dot lerp, and again 2 parentheses, we're gonna do render settings dot ambient intensity, comma, and we're gonna do daytime ambient intensity. Okay, not some ambient intensity, there we go. And then we're gonna do intensity change speed, so comma intensity change speed, okay, intensity change speed times time dot delta time. There we go. Now next thing is going to be our skybox. So we're basically gonna be doing daytime color. Okay, no, not daytime color. skybox dot color dot color, yes, dot color equals, I believe it's color dot lerp, yep, color dot lerp, and we're gonna do skybox dot color comma, and that should be daytime, yes, daytime color, and there we go. Oh wait, we need to do comma intensity change speed. So let's go ahead and do that, times time dot delta time. There we go, we got it right there. Now next thing we're going to be doing is going to be the same thing, just with a couple of variables different. So we're going to copy this 3, we're going to do else brackets, and then over here we're going to be doing daytime instead of daytime. We're going to, so I'm just going to go ahead and, so nighttime sun intensity, there we go. Then over here nighttime ambient intensity, and then down here is going to be nighttime color, and there we go. Now next thing we're going to have to do is actually work on our cycle. So how it's going to work, so if time of day is greater than cycle duration, then time of day equals 0. Then we're going to do if time of day is greater than day start time and time of day, okay, not time, time of day is less than day end time. So if we are on the light hours to say, so if it's between those two amounts, then we're gonna do time of day. Now you don't really have to do this, you could just do without the if, just put it like putting here time of day plus equals cycle speed times time dot delta time. So that way the night and daytime will last the same thing. Now I don't personally like that. I like to make the night a little bit shorter because it's pretty annoying for a nighttime to be 50 minutes. You know, I prefer it to be like 7 minutes or so. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So we're going to do daytime plus equals cycle speed times time dot delta time. And then on the else, we're just going to do time of day, time of day plus equals cycles, okay, actually, yes, do the parentheses, cycle speed times 2. So it's going to go 2 times faster. And then outside the parentheses, we're going to do times time dot delta time. If you just wanted to go 50% faster, just do 1.5. You know, it's basic math at that point. Now, next thing we're going to be doing is creating a function. So we're going to do public void update lighting. So this is what's going to take care of the sun, making sure the sun stays rotating and it's actually going around and stays within the confines. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, got it right here. Yeah, sorry if you guys see me pausing a lot, is because I'm going off of a picture I took from the original script, so that's why. So we're gonna do sun dot local rotation, okay, local rotation equals quaternion dot Euler, and then over here we're gonna be doing 2 parentheses, so one set of parentheses, then inside those do another set, and we're gonna be doing time of day times 360 divided by cycle duration. And then this outside the parentheses, we're gonna do comma 0, comma 0. So there we go, we got that one working. So next thing is going to be, we're gonna do if time of day is greater than, okay, less than, actually less than day start time, or time of day is greater than day end time, then is nighttime equals true. Else, okay, forgot that. Else is nighttime equals false. And that's pretty much it. That's our script. Now we're gonna set it up because there's a specific way to do it. I don't know why, this is just the way it works for me, so just bear with me. Now we're gonna do create empty, and we're gonna call it day night cycle. Then we're gonna drag our script into it, and over here you can set all of the values. Although the intensity change speed, I recommend you put it to 0.25 because you're gonna want to have it over there. Then the skybox, we're gonna need to change something on our code. The skybox, if you're using Unity's default procedural skybox, so if you're using any kind of procedural skybox, you don't need this because the skybox is gonna darken itself. But I'm using a static skybox, so I'm gonna need to have it. So we're gonna go back to the code, and over here, right above our skybox code, in the update, we're gonna do if skybox is not equals null, and same thing for the other one. So let me just put this right there and break it down. Then I'm gonna go ahead and copy this and put it over here. So we're doing this so we have both options without any further code, and we don't get a null reference ever. So let's go ahead, and now we're gonna set our skybox color. Now how do you look at that? Go to window, go to rendering and lighting. Over here, go to environment and select your skybox. In this case, I'm using a skybox from the asset store, so I am going to look at it. It's coloring everything, so this is the default color. So what we're gonna do is just copy this value, the hexadecimal value, and remember this one. Now let's go to our day night cycle, and we are going to, so this is 128, and the hexadecimal, just paste it there. That's gonna be the default value. Now I'm gonna go to my sky, and I'm gonna move it around, see what. Alright, so that looks like a good color for me. So that's gonna be 16, 16, 16, and 128. So I'm just gonna copy the hexadecimal, set it back to normal, and then day night cycle, we can go ahead and here 128 and do this. So there we go, it's all set. Now next thing, I'm gonna put my skybox material in there. So there we go, and let's go ahead and create our sun transform. So we're gonna create another empty inside our day night cycle. We're gonna call it sun transform, and then this is gonna have a specific rotation. This is just the way the script works. Alright, I don't know why it's like that, but over here on the X rotation, we're gonna do 209.115. So that's gonna be a rotation value, and then so is our sun going to have a specific rotation. Now drag your directional light that you use right onto here, and just for the X value, set it to -90. The Y value, set it to -83, and the Z value also -83. Now if you guys want to play around with this and make sure that it works with other values, that's up to you. Okay, this is just the way I got it to work, and I'm comfortable with it, so I don't really have an issue about it. If you guys want to play around with it, that's up to you. So now going to the day night cycle, and we're going to drag the sun transform. Alright, not the actual sun, just the sun transform. And my sun intensity, I'm going to set it to the one I have. You don't have to do this. So sun intensity is going to be 0.69, which is to what I have it set right now. And I'm going to bump the speed to like 10 so we can actually test it. Don't really feel like waiting 24 minutes. Actually, you know what, 20. So let's go ahead and hit play, test it out, and make sure it works. Alright, so let's just look at the shadows. They aren't moving. Okay, I think I know what's going on. So, yep, we're not calling our update lighting, so we missed that one. So at the end of our start function, just called update lighting. So that way it gets updated, and now it should work. So we're going to go ahead and hit play and see what happens. Okay, any shadows anywhere? Alright, you already see the shadows shifting. So let's wait a little. Actually, you know what? That's okay. Actually, that's good. So technically, I already have a day and night cycle. Already all done. Now we just gotta wait. Now you see how it's already starting to turn darker, and soon we'll be seeing everything else just go dark. So let's just wait for it and make sure sky is going dark. You know, everything else is going dark. That way we're not having any issues. Also, if you want to go ahead and play around with the values, that's up to you. You know, I'm not going to. Definitely the sky, the night end time should be much lower, like maybe I don't know, 18 or 1900. I'm not gonna be playing around with it for too long because again, this is for a tutorial, it's not a fledged out game. So you guys are going to have to go ahead and do that on your own, but you'll be fine. Also, don't worry about that. What just happened? That's just Unity refreshing the shaders. That's not actually going to happen in game. Okay, we definitely have an issue. So, what happened? Is there any? Okay, so we're having a problem with get color. Alright, well, I'm gonna look into this really quick and fix it, and I'll let you guys. Alright, so I found out what the issue is. Now, there's a single problem. I don't know exactly how to solve it. Because what's happening is, this is the line of code you gotta use. This one right here. Rendered settings, that's skybox, that's set color, parentheses, two semicolons, then the color value itself. Now, as I'm working with asset store assets, and the sky is an asset from the asset store, I don't know how the color variable has its actual value name set. So I honestly can't fix that. So, but basically this is the line of code. Now, if you're using a personal skybox of yours or anything like that, you know, it's up to you to do it. If you are using a regular skybox, so I'm gonna do both of these, but instead of nighttime in here, just do daytime. And it's up to you to figure out the value. I'm not gonna do it honestly. What I am going to do is to show you guys that it actually works and looks fine. I'm gonna revert mine to the traditional skybox, so the one that's in Unity. So I'm gonna do window.rendering.lighting, and on environment I'm just gonna change it to default. So the default skybox in Unity. I know it looks worse, but you know, there's nothing I can really do about it. That's up to you how you want to do it. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna assign the skybox right here, so I'm just gonna set it to none. And there we go. So let's go ahead and save it and hit play and make sure it works. Now again, this is a procedural skybox, so that's why it's gonna work most likely. By the way, I have it set to 1300. Sorry, 2100. But you can already see it's going dark. So we'll just wait for our ambient lighting to go down. Again, this is supposed to be the change speed of the ambient light is supposed for a cycle speed of 1, not a cycle speed of 20. That's why it's going faster. Now, depending on what speed you got, If you got 2 speed, then instead of 0.25 do 0.50. You just gotta play around with those values. You can see it's going a lot faster for me, but you've got a day and night cycle system done and ready. And look how beautiful that sun going up looks. So that's pretty much it for the tutorial, guys. You already have a fully working day and night cycle. I'm just gonna revert this back to 1. So there we go. And I'm gonna put this to 1350. Okay, 1350, which is exactly 12 p.m. So that's all for this tutorial. Next tutorial will be covering the save system. So we're almost done with the single player, which I'm pretty excited to finish because honestly I really want to go ahead and start getting working with the multiplayer. That's not gonna take that long, as most of it is gonna be changing some code here and there so we can adapt it to our network solution. Also, I'm gonna be doing a tutorial series in the future on how to make a full-fledged multiplayer game that's gonna work on a server structure. So basically, you got a server and you have to connect to it, and everyone else has to connect to it. That's gonna be using Riptide Networking, which is a network solution done by a YouTuber, and that network solution is pretty dope, to be honest. It's the one I use for my game. It works really good. I would say too good for my own liking, but it's a pretty good one. It's still in development, so you're gonna be facing some bugs with it, but it's pretty useful. So hopefully in the near future I can get started with that tutorial series. But as I said, I'm already planning to start another one, as this one's already sort of coming to an end if we count the multiplayer epi. Okay, sorry guys, I had to stop for a while. So as I was saying, basically if we count the multiplayer tutorials, we have around 8 more videos. But technically a survival game series is done with the next 3 videos. And pretty much I would count the multiplayer implementation as a separate video, as a separate series, sorry. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. As always guys, if you liked the video, consider subscribing, hit the like button, and leave a comment down below. You have no idea how much that helps. And I'll see you guys.